friends, this is the Paper Chef here. Welcome to part 6 of the Irresistible Blooms Workshop series. We will conclude the series today, and I know the Kentucky Derby's on, but this is the time that I had before I need to go grill up some dinner, and this is the time I had to come live, so I really wanted to just do this now. So let's talk about the techniques, and we'll go from there. So what you're going to learn in this workshop, in this video, and in the workshop, I'll show you what we did. At the end of this workshop, I'll show you all the cards we made in this workshop. And I also have a course going on that's related. But what you're going to learn right now is we're going to be doing some blending techniques with this flower here. We're going to stamp it in Memento Black. Then we're going to color it with the Stampin' blends, the alcohol markers. We're going to die cut it. Well, actually, we're going to die cut it first. I always die cut before I color, most of the time, and I never say always, right? And then we're going to be stamping. We'll do a little bit of stamping technique. And we're going to be using the Designer Series paper in several ways just for layering some of our specialty papers. And you're going to be learning how to make stickers with the dies so that you can use the stickers to embellish your card. We're going to add some Wink Castella, and you'll also learn card layering. There's a little bit of difference in the design here for this one versus this one. This one has more layers. This card has an extra layer. Okay, but they're very similar in the design. So let's just go ahead and start with the Memento Black ink. And we're going to ink up our little flower here that's already mounted onto the stamp. So it's good when you're stamping to always stamp onto your grid paper first before you stamp onto your basic white paper. But if you do mess up your stamp on the basic white paper, then of course you can flip it over and use the other side of the paper. That's good enough for now, because especially if you color with Lost Lagoon, then you can always go over the black with a darker color of blends. Ooh, I love it, love it, love it. Such a nice stamped image. Okay, so you'll need 2 flowers because we're going to make 2 note cards because I want to show you both of my designs. And I've already die cut out a lot of flowers, but we'll still just go ahead and I'm just going to chop off the part we need. Just do one at a time. And I don't need to die cut both, but I'm just letting you know that you're going to need to have 2 flowers. Because I should have some in my little bucket over there. Bucket of crafty goodness, I call it. So you're going to put the flower on here. And the die fits perfectly, which I really love. Now you want to take your painter's tape. I'm just seeing if I have a piece that's like already slightly used. Let's use this piece here. I was doing some scan and cut work, so I have some pieces of painter's tape. Now, if it's not slightly used, your painter's tape, what I want you to do is put it on your t-shirt and get some lint on the tape, because the tape could rip your paper. But if it's slightly used tape and you've been using it, see, that one's so used that it doesn't stick at all. But that's okay. You just want it like washi tape, painter's tape, or something that's not very sticky. And if it is very sticky, then you're going to put some lint from your clothes on the tape to make it less sticky. All right, so that's good enough. Now what you want to do if you're die cutting, you could use like the big, I'll tell you about the sandwich in a moment. You could use the other plate number 3. Oops, there's an extra plate under there. I better tell you about the sandwich now, because I think I have an extra plate under there. It's hiding under here. So the normal sandwich is base plate number 1. Okay, that's the bottom plate for this Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. The plate number 2, whenever you have thin dies, that's a thin die adapter. Then you need a plate number 3, and then you need your paper and your die and another plate number 3. However, I'm using the small plate from my mini cut and emboss machine because I just think it's easier if I only have 1 die to just use this extra plate number 2 from the other. But your typical sandwich is 2 plate number 3s. Here, let me do that so it's not backwards. And I alternate between the plates. See, that's beautiful. It's already cut out. See, like, let's put that like that. So there's plate number 3. I put the scratch one on the bottom and the one that's not as scratched on the top. So that's the normal sandwich. But if you use this instead of your other plate number 3, the one for your mini cut and emboss machine, it just is easier. So we'll do that for the stickers. All right, so now you're going to reuse your tape if you can. See, I told you it would rip the paper. That one maybe can't even be reused. but we'll get some more tape. All right, so that's good. Now let me look in my bucket of crafty goodness to see if I have a piece, another flower, because we're going to need 2 of them. Yeah, I have plenty of flowers. So you're going to need 2 flowers for this project. Actually, maybe 3, because I want to show you 3 ways. We'll do 3 because I can show you 3. We need 2, but I want to show you what the coloring looks like with all 3 when we color with the blends, with the 3 sets of blends I pulled out for this. Coordinating blends. All right, so that's good. Now let's do this part. So because while we're die cutting, we're going to make these into stickers. I've already made these into stickers. These little guys right here. So we'll just do some more. So there's a couple ways to make stickers, but I like using these adhesive sheets. These are in your kit. Your kit from me. If you purchased the kit, that is, last month. Maybe it was longer than a month. I don't know. Maybe the month before. Because we've been doing this workshop for over a month. So I'm just going to use that little. I want to take some different kinds of, actually here, let's use our scraps of paper. I don't want to use like full sheets of paper. We're going to just make some leaves in different colors. I'm just looking for scraps is all I'm doing. All right. Good enough, good enough. So grab some scraps. Now for your adhesive sheets. They're double-sided, so you're going to peel one side off. Let's find it peel. Okay? Okay, so that side's sticky. So peel one side off. Okay, good. Get rid of this. You don't need this part. See, it's gooey, it's sticky. Okay, now that you're going to put your paper, the side that you want to cut. So if we want to die cut, I'm going to die cut this side. So I'm going to put a little piece of this on there. Okay, I'm just getting the little pieces I have. Maybe here, I'll put a little piece here. I'll put this little piece here. Okay, and let's get this little piece here. So just get your scraps of paper and cover your little adhesive sheet. So now what you want to do is get your dies, which I pulled out for this tutorial. These 3 dies. These are perfect for making stickers. So put your small one there and just put them over the top of your paper like so. And that's it. And so that's how you're going to make stickers. You're going to see in a moment how these turn into stickers. Put that over the top. It's the same sandwich for the die cutting. And now you have stickers. See that? We just don't peel them off yet. How cool is that? So that's the adhesive sheet. So that's one way to make stickers. And the other way to make stickers is with the little sticker machines, which I've been, using too. So now I'm looking for the take your pick tool. But these are the best way. These are good because you can cut them any size you want. Anyway, best thing to make stickers with is intricate dies, where it's better to have a sticker than it is to have a lot of glue on something, because the glue oozes out the hole. So the more intricate your die, the better off you are using stickers. I wouldn't bother using stickers for this die. There's no intricacy. And plus I want to pop up the flower with dimensionals so that I don't need the die. I'm just going to do one more round of stickers. Okay, so you poke out the little bits so you can use this die again. And since I just cut out this one, so let's put this little guy over here. Right over there. And we'll put this guy, this guy over there. We'll put this one over here. And I'm going to poke this out. Okay, get rid of the extra bits. We make a little die brush too, which of course I have, because what tool don't I have from Stampin' Up, right? But who knows where it's at right now. I just thought of it just now. Okay, let's put that over the top. Well, actually, I'll just do 2 like this color. I like this color. That's going to be nice. We'll put the small one over here and this one kind of at an angle. Good enough. We have 6 stickers. So I like to do embellishments in groups of 5. And so, not 5, groups of 3 or 5. An odd number. So it's good I'm making enough leaves. And I already have a few stickers made. So I'll have more than enough stickers for this project. All right, so that's good. I think that's all the die cutting. Let me check this out. All the die cutting we need. Looking at the cards again. All right, so good. Good. We'll lay these down. Now let's get to coloring. So we're going to we're going to color. I'm just putting these here as a guide. So I have 3 sets of markers. These are Stampin' blends. And these are all coordinated with the Irresistible Blooms paper. Designer Series paper. And I always like to start with the darker colors, then go work my way into the lighter colors. So these all come in pairs, dark and light. And the reason I use Memento Black is because it's perfect for coloring with the Stampin' blends. That's the only time we need Memento Black, because we're going to use Pretty Peacock on the top there. So let's do... So these blends come in a set of dark and light. I always like to start with the dark and go around the edges. And then I kind of go like in the little flower part and in the middle. And then I go around the edges of these little sections. I've colored so many of these flowers. You'll see why, because I've done so many projects. Still not tired of this suite though, because I love this suite. Or this whole collection. It's an online exclusive, so it's not in the catalogs I sent you. Now I'm just going over it with the lighter Stampin' blend in circular motions. And then when you let it sit, it'll blend together better over time. Get that little section I missed. So you can either do circular motions over the top of the dark, or you can sort of pull. I'm going to show you the pulling technique. It's probably easier with the Daffodil Delight. You can pull the colors in dark to light by pulling on the blend. Now I did slip a little bit down there in the corner, so just sort of take this. This is called a color lifter, and I think I put a little thing on it because it means it's empty. Why I keep it anyway is because I'm going to figure out something to do with all these empty markers. Sometimes I give them away. All right. So this is called a color lifter, and it won't lift right away. It lifts like the more you rub. It'll lift a little bit, and then you got to lift a little more. All right, so that is it. That is Lost Lagoon. That's an awesome color. And Lost Lagoon, dark and light. So first flower. Now let's do Flirty Flamingo, dark and light. Okay, so we have a brush side. The brush side's fine for such a big flower, but my brush the nib is kind of off, but we'll see. See if it works. So again, dark on the outside. I always blend my darks first. We'll get that little section this time with the dark side. And if your stamp is not very good, like your black, you can also go over it with the darker color, and it will fill in the black parts too. And then I'm going to take the light Flirty Flamingo and just do circular motions around the whole thing. This is just faster for me, but you could also pull it in and do the slow thing. Slow, slow, slow. But I think it's just easy, so just do it fast. Do it fast and get more done. We don't have time for it to do it slow. So let's just get more done. All right, there you go. And then the Daffodil Delight. I'm so happy with my Daffodil Delight because I just got new markers. Yippee! And that comes out so nice with the Wink of Stella on top and everything. I just love Daffodil Delight. So my orders took a while, but it was worth the wait. So this is an order that just came in from free shipping day. So if you're still waiting, keep the faith. I'm on the East Coast and it came. Eventually it'll come. I mean, they're doing the best they can, I guess, under the circumstances. So we got to just be patient to get those orders. It was a super high record-breaking sales month in April for Stampin' Up. And so they're still catching up on the April shipments and then our catalog went live in May. So we're catching up on those shipments. I already have some shipments from May because I paid extra for expedited shipping. All right, there you go. So that's how to do the dark one. Dark Daffodil Delight. See how a new marker, you can see I'm having no trouble with these new markers. My nibs are good. I have these like really nice nibs, even on the thick side. There's a brush side and a small side. I have really nice nibs. Do you have nice nibs? Oh my gosh. Sometimes I crack myself up. All right. It just sounds so funny. Who goes around saying that? You have nice nibs. My nibs are nice. Only a crafter will understand. All right, let's go get this done. And you could see how this Lost Lagoon is just drying really nicely. All right, so we have our stickers, we have our flowers. So then here, I was gonna do the little part where you pull it in, but I think I prefer the circular motion. So I'm just gonna go with it. But if you wanna pull the ink in, here, I'll just do it here because I wanna teach you the technique. Oh, that's not even a piece of paper. I mean, it's a piece of paper, but it's a sticker sheet. I need to take a real piece of paper. So let me show you. All right, so you have your, here, this is what I'm talking about. What I wanted to show you. So you have your dark, Stampin' blend. And then you have your, if you want to pull in the light and dark, you got to go like this. You pull the dark into the light. Okay? So that's what I mean by pulling the color in. And you keep doing that over and over until the seam is gone. The seam between the two. And then they blend so nicely together. You'll see how that'll change as we wait. All right, then I put Wink of Stella on top with the little glitter pen. Love the glitter pen. All right, let's put these away. We have these little Stampin' storage system with the blends trays. These are the ones I call like my portable blends trays. But I actually have a big stand where I put all my blends and my markers and all the colors together. So let's see. I should have silenced my other phone. It's binging. All right. Ding, ding, ding. All right, just putting all the stickers here. And I'm going to get the stickers from my other part too. From my little bucket of crafty goodness. Get some extra stickers in case we need them. Just grab a couple here. Put those over there. Now you could have just, the easy peasy way to do the whole project I'm showing you is just get these flowers right from the designer series paper and cut them out. That's what I did for my swap card in my workshop I did. I mean, you can do that, but I just wanted to color some too, which I've been doing a little bit in the series, but the flowers are so pretty from the paper. I haven't been coloring that many of them because they're so pretty. So I figured oops, I don't need to poke those out because they're empty. Should be one more die somewhere. Maybe it's on here. Here we go. I found it. So here's the last die. All right, so now it's just a matter of grabbing out the trimmer, getting our measurements we need. Look at that, blending together nicely. I'm going to go side instead of the phone so it stops dinging. Maybe you can't hear it dinging, but my other phone is dinging. All right. It's on vibrate now, so that's good. Got to be professional here, as much as I can be. There's my Wink of Stella. I've been looking for that too. All right, so you're going to get out your paper now. I don't remember which paper we have used in this workshop series because it's been going on for over a month now. We've been working the entire month of April, and now we're into May. So whatever papers you have left, just use the papers you have left. Not a big deal. Now, before you use the papers you have left, let's take out a couple note cards. Now, where are they? They were in your... This is the new packet for my Zoo Crew workshop. But I just want to show you where they're at. And you don't have this box in the Hello Irresistible. You have a different box or a different bag, a different packaging item. But anyway, take out your note card from the back of your cardstock is where you keep it. And if you want to sign up for the Zoo Crew Workshop series, then go ahead and get the Zoo Crew kit. The Zoo Crew kit link is in the description of this video, so you can sign up for that. So all my kits are very unique, and they have lots of specialty papers and things. As you're going to see, we're going to use the specialty paper right now. I'm always including little samples, so you don't have to buy a lot of different things to make my projects. My projects use a ton of things, but you don't have to buy a ton of things to follow along because in my kits, I give you such a variety of things, and they're made with love. Lots of extra love goes into them. So anyway, so these note cards, I just want to do this little, what I'm doing is I'm folding them. They come pre-scored. They're called craft note cards and envelopes. And then I just want to show you the size of them so you know when we make the layers where I'm starting with. I'm starting with the 3.5 by 5. Okay, so the note cards are 3.5 by 5. Make sense? So now everything else will make sense after you see what size the card is. Why I'm cutting the layers the way I am. So now it's not complicated or anything. Just, you might want to take a note, or I will write it on the mat on this grid paper. Okay, so let's get... I just did a scan and cut tutorial. Then I opened my box from my Norway trip. I mean, this table is full. Full. So I'm going to grab a pen, and we're going to start with what we need for both cards either way. Okay? Meaning, no matter what, we're going to need. So you're going to decide like how you make your card. Like, which card do you prefer? You have this designer paper. You have this paper in your kit, right? And then you have this designer paper. So just, you can make both cards with me, but of course you only have one. I think I only gave you one note card in your kit, but I'm just saying you can make either design, whether you want to use specialty paper or not. But either way, for the outside, we're going to need 4 3/4, right? Because I told you that the card is 5 inches by 3.5, right? So we would need 4 3/4 by 3 1/4. Okay, that's the first measurement. This is the outside layer. No matter which card we're making, that's our outside layer of DSP. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut a couple outside layers. I'm just going to grab a few pieces of paper. See what we have here. I mean, it doesn't matter. Just, I like the dark. We'll even do one for the inside. So at the same time, we can do the inside. Let's see. This paper is so pretty, right? A good background paper. This is a good background paper, I'd say. Something to that effect. Or this one would be a good background paper. This paper here. So you just want some good contrasting colors here. Maybe that's a little too light. So let's go with this one. And this one. And then we'll use these for the insides of the card. So we'll just do a couple for the outside. We need the same size for the inside, by the way. We'll cut a few of the next size. So we're going to do 3. Okay, let me look. 4 3/4, right? Just make sure I got it right. 4 3/4. This paper, by the way, is 6 by 6. It comes like that. I'm gonna go with that side. Okay, I like more of the dark pattern show. Okay, it's 4 3/4 by 3 1/4. See? 3 1/4. So I'm gonna do a bunch of these because we need it for, let's just make sure, always make sure before you go on. Okay, perfect. Make sure it fits on your card before you're like cutting so many of these. Because I could be wrong. Okay, we already got some, let's not use, I want ones for the inside. So I want 2 light ones for the inside. Oh, I should have shown you the inside. We do need to stamp a little more. We're going to stamp the inside. See? I just stamped it and put another little, oh, we do need another little leaf too. I have extra leaves. I put some Winkestel on the inside. So you need a light color for the inside, but it's the same measurement as I'm showing you. So that's why I say cut 4 of them. But we're going to go ahead and cut 5. We're going to cut 3 of these because we might need this one for the outside, depending on what the next layer is. Like, I'm not sure yet. We have to just decide as we will find out when we get to the next layer what color. Okay, so let's see. 4 3/4 by 3 1/4. All right, so we needed 4 total, but I made 5 because we wanted some variety and flexibility in our design. So now what you want to do, so we have the inside ones and the outside ones. Oh, that's so pretty. That would be pretty. Just do that, stick a sentiment on it, and you have a beautiful note card. Without all the extra layering, I mean, you got so much going on with just that paper. The paper is gorgeous. All right, so if you want to go for, let's say, okay, option, we're going to do a little flow chart here, like this, just so you can do, either option. So the next one, next option is with the extra layer. So this option is you need another layer. And then I just went 1/4 inch smaller with the next layer. Whoops. Right. Okay, 4 1/2 by 3 inches, right? All right, so let's see. Let's see what this one is, if it's already. I might have already done this one, but let's see how it's coming together. Okay, I've already done that one. Okay, so that's option 1. So that's option 1, and then option 2 would just be like do nothing. Okay, we've done nothing yet. All right, so option 1 is add this extra layer, and then option 2, so it's like this. Option 1, add an extra layer. Option 2, don't add extra layer. But either way, we're going to need this next part is going to be the same for whether you do this one or this one. Okay, so I'm going to say this one, no extra layer. Okay, so far we've now we're going to converge here, and now we get the same. The next part is the same whether you did option 1 or option 2. We need these little panels like this. Okay, and the way you want to hide them, I think when you make a seam on you, when you do, I'm just going like that. When you draw, when you not draw, when you want to hide this back paper, I like to make these a little longer than they need to be so we can hide them behind this paper. Because if you try to like line up the seams of paper, it doesn't work very well. So what I mean by that is, let's get the designer paper. Can't believe I forgot the name of it. Here it is. Glad I got the name now. This is called Naturally Gilded. Naturally Gilded. And I might already have the size paper I need. So I gave you this in your kit. Gave you these pieces of paper. So let's go ahead and cut that. And let's see if I have a big enough piece here. Because I want this one in the middle to be 1.5. So whether we're cutting this one or this one, we need this to be 1.5 wide. This is more than enough. Because I think I gave you 2 inches wide. All right, so 1.5. So let me go ahead and cut that at the same time I cut the part behind it. Okay, it's just easier. To cut the length, So let's do the length first. You're gonna see what I mean. Because these need to be the same height, right? So this part's gonna be 1.5. It'll make sense when I get done this part. These ones are gonna be 3/4 of an inch, but you're not gonna lay them next to each other. Okay, I'm gonna just write what it is here, 3/4. They're not laying side by side. These ones are tucked behind. So only 1/2 inch of these are sticking out. This was just with experimentation. It seemed to work for me. And we got 4 inches high. Okay, so it's 4 inches high. So let's go ahead and do this. Whoa, we need them to be 4 inches high together. So cut them together like so. Just so they're exactly the same height for that card. Okay, now you're going to cut them separately. So they're 4 inches high. They're both 4 inches high. But one is 1.5. Okay, but I want this part to show more. I like that better. So I'm going to turn it around and get like, when I say 1.5, it's going to be like that part of it. So that I have like this really cool pattern showing. Okay, now these are going to be 3/4 of an inch. 3/4 of an inch twice. So we do, each of these on the trimmer is, each of these little blocks are 1/4 inch. So just go 3/4 of an inch like so. Okay, we'll do this again with the other DSP. But let's go ahead and adhere this and let that dry. So let's go ahead and take this. All right, what happened to it? Here it is. You're going to flip this around, and you want only 1/2 inch of this sticking out. Okay, like so. And it really makes the card easier to deal with, I think. Easier to line up when you do something like this, because then only like the sides are sticking out, and you don't have to try to worry about lining up the seams. Like it never lines up right. So turn that over. Use glue for this part. In my opinion, glue works a lot better because it helps you line up everything. But because you have them the same height, it's already going to line up nicely. All right, so let's stick that. I like this. I want this one to be on the right side, this little cool pattern. Okay, so it's 3/4 of an inch. So 1/4 of an inch is overlapping. See, 1/2 inch is sticking out. Okay, let's do this. And then you want the same amount sticking out. So you're going to flip those around, and then we're going to take this piece here. We're going to see. We're going to look at these. Let's move this trimmer for a second. And that was for the inside of the card. That one might be for the inside of the card. That could be a good inside. Let's put that one in the back of that one. Okay, let's go for let's see if this one will be good. I want to just lay it there. It's all still wiggle wiggle because the glue's not sealed yet. So let's kind of get the little, but it's gonna dry pretty quickly. Oops. Because this is really good glue. Kind of too good in my opinion. But it dries really quickly, so you want to wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And you want to put it on here and make sure that see, it's already, I can tell it's crooked. Like I could tell by putting it on there. So put it on your background paper. And then pull. Because it's a little crooked. And this side's sticking out more. Okay, I'm going to push this side in. I can't move the left side, so I'm going to move the right side and push it in a little. All right. Bottom line is you want it to be centered and not crooked. Ooh, it looks good. And now decide which color to put it on. Maybe, I don't know, maybe not. I think it's better on this side. But let's try this. Nope. Nope. Okay. It would look good on that colored paper. You said the darker the paper, the better. Maybe even this paper. Ooh. I'm gonna keep that paper with that one for contrast. I'm gonna go with that one like that. All right, so anyway, now you're ready to once it's not wonky, we don't want wonky cards, okay? It's not wonky, you got your layers overlapping with a 1/2 inch sticking out each side. Oh, that's way too much glue. You don't want lumpy cards. Okay. So and then you're gonna put that one on there. So for this one, I didn't put that extra layer on this card because I thought that the foil naturally gilded paper kind of stands alone and it looks good on its own. All right, I'm trying to center it before it dries really solid. Okay, good enough. All right, now we're gonna go and we're gonna do the same thing with the DSP. So that, like I said, this side here, that one's over there. And then this one's over here. See, we're just doing the same thing again, but we just do it like maybe something that will contrast with this piece. So let's get some little scraps of paper, and we're using those same measurements. 4 inches high. Let me move this up here. 4 inches high by, 1.5 in the middle, and then 3/4 inch on the side. So, nope, doesn't contrast. Just looking for paper. All right. I know I have some. I'm just grabbing out my scraps here and seeing how it will look. Let's see. I love this pattern here. Like if you have one of those are really beautiful to use with those sort of flowers on it. This one, that's a gorgeous pattern to always have in the middle. And that's a good contrasting one. But if I'm going to put something on the sides, it has to contrast with that part. So, I mean, that would be okay. Yeah, that's okay. That'll work. And then this one could be in the middle. Yeah. Like, in other words, they're going to stick out the sides like that. I like it. But do whatever you want. It's your paper. So first you need them to be, again, 4 inches high. So turn them over, make sure they're the exact same height. That'll make your card look more professional. If you cut them separate, even if you go to 4 inches high, they never come out the same. I mean, even when I have a rotary trimmer there, and I have like a big block that keeps my paper from going over, and even these with the ledges, they still come out different every time you cut them. It's kind of crazy. That's why when you cut them together, they come out the same. So same measurements as before. Let's see, I like that part sticking there. So we're going to go 1.5. Okay, and then these are 3/4 of an inch on both sides. 3/4. Three-quarters. Flip, flip, flip. Glue. Glue. Overlap. Overlap. Push up against your ledges. Wiggle, wiggle. Get out this piece here and start trying to center it. Oops. You can only wiggle it while it's before it dries. Okay, you got to wiggle it while it's here. So, like, okay. So it's not wonky. Looks good to me, but I like to use the ledge here. I mean, you can even use your little grids on your trimmer to make sure it's not wonky. But to me, I think it just kind of eyeballing it to make sure it's not wonky. Looks good. All right, so that's cool. Then once those are straight, then just a matter of attaching your layers. And just contrasting all your different layers between, so. I mean, heck, you can even put another layer behind this one if you want. It's just going to make your card really thick, though. So when my team member Rita sent me one of the note cards, I noticed the post office charged her more. So sometimes you get charged more when something's small, smaller than the standard size. I'm kind of liking that. I'm kind of liking the little bit of leaves sticking out the back. I'm gonna go with that background. I'm gonna do that. But typically I don't send note cards like just as they are. Like I send them as thank yous in another package for my customers and things. So I typically don't mail the note card by itself. You can put it in the mail. I know you can. But it just, if you want to put it in the mail, maybe you want to put it in a bigger envelope and pay the regular price. Like the forever stamp. Don't make it an unstandard size or not standard size because then you might have to pay a little more. All right, that's good. And now we're ready to... Now, I didn't mind using glue for those parts, but for this next part, I think I'm just going to use the Seal Plus. We're on the final stretch. We're just going to do the insides and outsides. So we're just going to get out. I don't mind the glue for like the layers itself because the designer series paper kind of absorbs the glue. But I don't want any lumpy glue looking on my card. So I'm just using Seal Plus. That is my preferred. It's my go-to adhesive, Seal Plus. As opposed to Seal because it just rolls better to me. Because of all the little ridges in it. See the little ridges? It works easier for me. Works better for me. Oops, which side is the top? Oh, it's this way. Oops, this way. Because the little stems are sticking up. On the naturally gilded, I got to practice that. Naturally gilded designer series paper. Did that retire? Does anybody know if it retired? Oh, no, it didn't retire because it's an online exclusive. Duh. It retires when it runs out. The whole thing is an online exclusive. So there are your measurements. So far we did that extra layer on this side. No extra layer. Okay, there we are. Now we're going to do the little embellishing. Put the little leaves. Let me get my bucket here. All right, now we just got to kind of play around. So we're like, there's our measurements, and it's like, does that one go there and that one go there? Or this one? I mean, we just could play around. That's all. So I'm gonna play around with in my tray here, just to see where to put things. And then I'm just gonna use dimensionals. So this is why we have extra things. Okay, that's too light. This needs a darker one. This one goes good here. This one needs that one because it matches this paper, or this one. So we'll let you pick. Flirty Flamingo or Lost Lagoon. You vote on that one. And then meanwhile, I'm going to do this one. But you don't want to put the light one on the light background. So now I'm using Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm just going to go ahead and use 3. I mean, what are crafting supplies for if not to overuse them? Okay, we're going to stick that there. And now I'm going to take my Wink Estella. And we're going to put that all over the flower. Super fun. Okay, I got more votes for Flirty Flamingo. Okay. Flirty, 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 flirty. All right, cool. You guys like the pink flower better. So we're going to put that flower over there. You got rejected, Lost Lagoon. Okay, let's put that over here. Well, probably because you already saw what the other one looked like from my sample. So Wink Estella. When you use alcohol markers, it does bleed through the paper. It doesn't bleed through the thick cardstock, just the regular basic white. We make basic white thick as well, but I use the regular basic white on cards. All right, now we need the little contrasting, these little guys. So we just kind of, like, that's not the, see, I wouldn't use this leaf on this card because it's too much like the background. Like, it looks like the pretty peacock is in the background. So you want to use this one on the other card. And, of course, you could use your little, take your pick tool if you can't get it off. So where's my... See, sometimes it helps to get this, to poke a little hole in the plasticky cover. See? And when you can't get it off with your nails, it's so much easier to peel. And then we'll stick that little guy up there. And I'm just doing it in 3s. So we're going to save these colors for, like, here, that would be really nice, like, up there, like that. This one will be nice down here. Let's see if we can get another contrasting color. We'll just have to use one of those. That's at least a different, at least it's lighter. And then I'll use a few of these over here. So something like that. What else? So you can see how great adhesive stickers are. No glue needed. Simple, simple. I'll stick one in there. Wherever, what happened is there's dimensional behind there. So it's like wherever I can get under there without hitting the dimensional is where you put your little leaf. See, push it under there. Perfect. Love it. And now we got to make our sentiment. We're going to just use our scraps of paper because I know you're probably out of die cuts by now. I sent you a lot of die cuts. I did some die cutting for you, made with love. You've used them for your project. So we're just going to stamp right onto the designer series paper. Layer that up. That's always fun. And we have scraps all over the place. You should by now. I hope you've been saving your scraps. Okay, this has to kind of not fall off the card. So we'll put it, I'm going to angle it down like that so it doesn't fall off the card. All right, so far so good. We can put these back in our bucket of crafty goodness to use for other projects. And then at some point, I'll just take this tray and use it for my Zany Zoo. But I just want to, I'll be finishing up some things from this series. And then, like, I'm going on a trip. So, like, what I'll do is I'll make a bunch of extra little things that I can give as thank yous to the pursers, the ones who clean the rooms on the cruise ship, and, like, everybody I meet. The person who checks me in, I give them a craft. I mean, I'm going on a craft cruise. Well, it's not actually a craft cruise. It's a cruise to Norway if it's an incentive trip. So I'm going on this trip. And if you missed my unboxing, oh, my God, they sent me the coolest swag. So I really thank you guys for helping me earn this trip. And I'm really excited about it. But anyway, everybody I meet, since it is a craft, I call it a craft cruise because there's a bunch of crafters on the cruise. I like them to get to know what our company's about. And I just give out crafts to like everybody I meet. And then even people that at the hotel where I'm staying before I even go, they're going to get something crafty. So I'm going to make a bunch of extra little things using all this extra crafty goodness I have. And then I'll make some Zany Zoo projects too, probably, because they're cute. All right, so grab your scraps. All right, we're going to do some stamping now. We got to do stamping. What we still need to do, just so you know, we are doing the Flirty Flamingo little ribbon in the background that was in your kit. We're going to make this little hello banner, and we're going to stamp the inside with Lost Lagoon. Oh, there's what we're doing with our extra stickers, right? And then we're going to stamp the outside with Pretty Peacock. So that's what's still left. We're still finishing our cards. We'll put those over there. So we need, let's see, these little tiny things. It was like, I wrote 3/4 of an inch is what I wrote. 3/4 of an inch. So pick light colors and go out to 3/4 of an inch. Okay, there's. And when you have something small to stamp, I always make it bigger than I need to right now. You'll see why, it's just easier. When you have something small, always push your blade up and not down. Okay, this one might be good. I don't know if I'm still going to be able to do the 1 5/8. Okay, this one I'm just going to go ahead and cut. The next part's 1 5/8. So that's 4/8 is 1 1/2. And we got to go, and this trimmer goes in 1/16 of an inch. So I'm just going to go 1 5/8. But this one I'll just leave bigger because I think it's easier to stamp while it's bigger, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So really they're going to be 1 5/8 long. Okay? Both of them are going to be 5/8 long. But you need an outside layer for these. So we talked about the 3/4 of an inch. Okay, and then we just want to go for the outside layer just slightly bigger. So you got 1/4, 3/4, 3/4, and then we're going to go one little smidgen bigger. Wait, 5/8. Okay, let's see. So we got 3/4 of an inch, and then we're going to go, let me just go like a tiny bit bigger and see what happens. I can't remember if I used an 1/8 or a 1/16, whatever. Let's just try it. I just wanted a little tiny, oops, not big enough. We need to go, not a 1/16, we need to go an 1/8 bigger. So we're going to say 5/8. So maybe these aren't 3/4 of an inch. Okay, these are 1/2 an inch, and the next one is 3/4 of an inch possibly. Let me try that. or 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll write it down once I figure it out myself. 5/8. Sometimes I experiment on the fly here. Yeah, that doesn't look like it either. Okay, the inside was 5/8 and the outside was 3/4 of an inch. All right, there we go. The inside is 5/8. The inside is smaller. You know, it's a result of my experimentation. So now you kind of see what I have to figure out stuff to figure out. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. But don't worry, I'll write it down because I'm figuring it out myself. Okay, we're going to compare it against this. So 5/8 high. Okay, 5/8 high. And it's the outside that's the 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so let's go make the outside bigger. All right, good. And good. Now, we're going to keep this out for a second because we don't want to attach them yet because they're easier to stamp when they're not attached to each other. That's 3/4 of an inch. Bottom line is you just want this little extra margin. See? Doesn't it look cool? It's just for contrast and an extra little margin there. That's what I was playing with. I don't want to stamp them while they're together. I don't want to glue them while they're together. And I'd just rather stamp them while they're separate. And then I'll get back to the trimmer or even use my scissors to stamp. So let's write that down for you because some of you might be following along. And some of you might be like, what is this chick doing? All right, so here's the sentiment. Sentiment. Okay, the sentiment is like this. I'm just kind of drawing like, it's not really like that, but it's more like, you know, you got this little layer and then you have an outside layer. Okay, so I'm just going to write. So what the two measurements are. So we have, the one is, the outside is 3/4 of an inch. And they're both going to be 1 5/8 inch long. So let's just put that twice. 1 5/8 inch long. And then the other side is only 5/8 of an inch. So I'm going to put that, I'm going to say, so that was the outside. And this is the inside of your sentiment. Okay, but I recommend, again, not cutting it all until you're done. Until you make sure you stamp it right. So here's my hello stamp, and we're going to use, somewhere buried under here is Pretty Peacock. Here we go. Pretty Peacock. Put that over here. Open up the Pretty Peacock, and we're going to stamp hello onto this paper. All right, good. So we're going to stamp. I probably should have got out my grid sheet. I mean, my silicone mat. Hold it there for a few seconds. Okay, good. Now, you see how it's not quite centered. So the reason I always cut it later, you'll see why. Like, say I just use my scraps like this, and I stamp it wherever, and then I attach the two pieces of paper together, and then I cut them together. It just keeps it, it makes it so that they cut together and that I can also center my sentiment better. So anyway, anywho, I think that's an easier way to cut it afterwards. So I'm just kind of, I'm just going to go for it, like something like that. All right, good. I'm trimming it off anyway, so it doesn't matter. And we need this little piece here. So this is just another great way to use up your scraps. I know I had another 3/4 inch piece somewhere. Let's close this. We're done with the Pretty Peacock anyhow. Let's get rid of that. We'll just stick it down here. Well, no, it all depends. It doesn't matter. Actually, we need it. We need to do one of each because I think the paper matters. So we're back to this. So we have this one. No, it's not going to look as good on this card. We want this color, right? Oh. Let's see. That one, it doesn't really matter. Now this one here. We're going to put this sentiment on this card, I think. We'll see. Yeah, because that one has too much pink. Good. We're going to put this sentiment on this card. So there you go. Oops. Put that. Something like so. And now we can trim it. So we want 1 5/8 inch. So first just try to trim the one side. Actually, I'm flipping around. And we already know that the paper is the exact size we need it. So we're just going to go whoop. And it probably would have been better with scissors. That's why I don't cut it till afterwards. I shouldn't have cut it earlier. Sometimes it's so tiny you just cut it with scissors. All right. I could have cut the other side with scissors too. Okay. But see, I'm going to make it smaller because it wasn't centered. But you get the idea. You're going to make it 1 5/8, and you're going to cut it afterwards so that your sentiment is centered. That's what I'm trying to say. I wouldn't have cut it before. So if you cut it before, you never center your sentiment the right way because you can never stamp in the center of something. It never works. So do one side and then do the other side and measure it. So 1 4/8, 1 5/8. Now it should be centered. Good enough. Maybe even slightly smaller than 1 5/8. 1 1/2. There we go. It's still good. So let's leave that caveat. Or 1 1/2 long will work. Will work. Okay, in case you're taking notes. There you go. And then we're just going to attach this guy behind. We're going to test it where it goes. Like that one probably goes better over there. And then this one goes better on there. Oh, yes. Good. And the reason I used that Flirty Flamingo ribbon, not only because it was in your kit, but I just thought it was like perfect. It's a newly retired ribbon. And I just thought it was like perfect behind the little sentiment. So just cut a little bit out. We'll just cut it in half, but that. Okay. Cut it in half. I'm just going to cut the little ends on an angle. We'll do both at once. Let's see which way the angle goes. It's easier to cut. To me, it's easier to cut 2 ribbons at once. And you can even fray the ends too, like we did with the white frayed ribbon. We used the frayed ribbon in this workshop series. We've used a lot of ribbon in this workshop series. So just get a little piece and plop it on there behind your sentiment. Oops. By going like so, putting this there, right? And then popping your sentiment up with dimensionals. Or you could use, well, no, you need dimensionals because the ribbon is bulky. Or you don't have to have dimensionals. You don't really have to have dimensionals, but I like popping the sentiment up with dimensionals. So again, that one is, wait, this one is, I'm just trying to see it again. I'm actually liking that one better on that side and that one better on that side. That's just my opinion, so I'll try that. This is why you make more than one card at a time, because then you can have more design choices. About where to put things. Oops. Okay, I'm leaving this there because some of you take screenshots. So I'm going to clear that off for a minute if you want to take a screenshot of the instructions. And if you're not sure how to take a screenshot, if you have an iPhone, you can press like the top side buttons on the iPhone. If you have an older iPhone, you can press the big round button at the bottom and the top side button. Take your screenshot. But if you're watching on a bigger device, how did I already lose the sentiment? Where did my sentiment go? All right. We still got to do the Lost Lagoon on the insides of cards. Were you doing these still? I don't know where the heck this... You guys are probably like staring right at it. Like, it's right there. I cleaned things off and then it's like... You probably can see it and I can't see it. Let me see. I'm going to read your comments and be like, seeing if anyone sees where my sentiment went. Oops. Okay, I'm looking. Flirty, 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 flirty. All I see is flirty flamingo. That's all you see you guys writing. Oh, there it goes. Okay, never mind. I found it. Sometimes you guys have a better view than me. Like I have to get up on my tippy toes to look straight down at what I'm doing. And you know I get into the zone and lose things. I'm in my creative space. I get lost in creativity and just lose my little things. All right, so there we go. And so that is it. And let's see. Winkestella. Did we do Winkestella? Yes. We did hello on all the cards. Yes. Flirty flamingo ribbon. Okay, yes. We got to do the inside still, but I'm just checking all the outsides. Winkestella, yes. Flirty flamingo ribbon. Okay, pretty peacock for the sentiment. So now it's just a matter of the Lost Lagoon. So we have to get rid of the ink on here. I'll probably use the Stampin' Scrub in a moment. Let me just look for the Lost Lagoon ink. So this is what we're using for the inside of the card. And the extra little stickers. So we need a couple little stickers for the inside. The ones that are turned into stickers. That would be cute. Here, that one is cute. I'll just use the big ones. there, this big one, because they have more, look better on the inside. All right, so we need to scrub off the black ink before we don't want to mix ink colors. So just use my Stampin' scrub. Because I'm not about to take out a baby wipe when I'm about to show you all these projects. So I'm looking for, that's the wet side. The wet side, and then that's the dry side. Okay. I probably just fogged up the whole camera. All right, there we go. And now we can use it. Now we cleaned our stamp and we can. Ooh la la. Okay, now we can stamp the insides of our cards and decorate the inside of our cards. So we're going to stamp a little flower. Stamp a little flower. Okay. And then I just put this little leaf catty corner. And now you have a beautiful note card set. Like this whole set would be a good gift for somebody. The whole set of 4 cards I just made. I'll probably divide and conquer. You can decorate your envelopes too. But tie it up with some twine. A little bit of twine and you can... I'm just putting this on the opposite side. Let's see how I did the other ones. Okay, I kind of pointed them. Yeah, like the other way. So kind of like that. Looks like I even used a little Wink of Stella in there. Okay, we've already done that one. Put one in here. Oh, wait, let's see which one we want to put where. Okay, so that's the other decision to make. So this one, I'm going to put this one over here because this paper looks a lot like that paper, and I think it'll go better. They're both kind of green. This is the soft seafoam color. But little details matter. So like this one will go good with, I mean, they all go well together because that's what paper coordination was. But I thought this paper looked almost just like this paper. Like the same kind of modeled pattern. That's why I want to put this one inside of there. Okay, and you have your envelopes and you put the envelopes between. I'm just going to kind of, I probably should have stamped it when it was. Sometimes I don't want to stamp, like because of the post office, right? I don't want to stamp things on the front of envelopes sometimes, but I'm just going to stamp the little flap on the back so it's not distracting, right? But anyway, you could do your little, and you got your little spatula and you have all your little, here. Your note cards, right? You went choo. Okay. And you have your little set of note cards and you put the envelopes between each one and you alternate your colors and then you get your piece of twine. I'm just trying to show you how to present what we just did here. So you made all your note cards. In fact, get yourself a set of note cards. I think it comes 20 in a box. I only give you samples. And of course you want to get some more stuff. These are really strong cardstock. The note cards are good quality, right? And you can present it like this with your twine if you want, or you could put them in one of the acetate card boxes. Of course, we don't have. Oh, I also did a YouTube tutorial on how to make note card holders, but for that you need a 12 by 12 piece of designer series paper. But this is just one way to present note cards with the 4 envelopes. You can put the 4 envelopes in the back and then the 4 cards in the front or whatever, a note set. And then put them in a nice cellophane bag. People will love it. It's a useful gift. Oh, craft fair items, they love it. People love that. When you give them, I'm just clearing off my table here. When you give them something useful that they can, have as a gift, they buy those at the holiday time especially. All right. So I hope that was fun. Let me say hi to you and grab out my bucket of stuff we made in this series and show you all the projects. All right. Thank you, Kathy. Hello. Nice to see you too. And Pamela. All right. Pamela's coming back to watch later. Hello, Phil from Florida. And Sheila, who's coming back later. Okay. What did your mom say about my swag from Norway? Oh, my goodness. She was also thinking about the little, what would you call it? Like the rolling pin. She was like, that rolling pin is so cool. And she did love my swag from Norway. But we both think it's too pretty to use. Like people are like, oh, your mom's going to make cookies with that. And I'm like, we both think it's too pretty to use. But I got a lot of comments about my mom making cookies with that thing. Hello, Lisa and Patricia. Thank you for your comment. Hello, Melody and Jean. All right, lots of you guys here. Yvonne. What I'm going to show you first is, this is not actually part of this workshop series, but I did have a course. I still have it. It's there forever. Thank you to those of you, like Jean, you enrolled in the course, I see. So thank you for enrolling in my course. It's called How to Make Gift Card Holders. And we did this fun fold, and there's a little space here. Let me get my fingernail in here to put the gift card holder in. So this is a fun fold workshop, and I go through over 2 hours of video footage on how to make this project. So if you want to learn to do that, and we die cut out all the pieces and everything. Those of you who took my series should know how to do it. I mean, mostly for the most part. Showed you how different enclosures, like our buckle enclosure and things like that. And I showed you how to make this gift card envelope in both this series, but I also showed it again in the gift card holder workshop. I'm just going through these and pulling these out. So that was part of that workshop series. So I have a lot of those. Let me pull all those out. See, I showed you how to make the belly band. That's another way to present this, how to bling it up with some extra bling. I mean, there's lots of fun. It was lots of fun. So these were part of my swaps. These are part of the swaps that I used for a project. All right, so now I want to show you what we made in this, and there's an extra, this is another gift card holder. And the gift card holder envelopes we made last time with the bags. So there's lots of different styles of gift card holders. And you could put candy in these pockets as well. Okay, these I didn't make in this series. I'm going to show them to you, though. Whoops. Stuff is sticking together. So much. Okay, this is another gift card holder style. Put money in there, gift cards, little Velcro pouch. All right, back to this series. I showed you last video how to make these envelopes. I'm just going to pull these out. These are gift card envelopes. A super, super fun, easy fold. I also showed it in my course because it did have to do with gift cards. So if you want to, and you can put Ghirardelli chocolates in there or a gift card. It's a double little pocket. See? You can put that gift card in the back and it doesn't go through. But then the center's open, and then you can also have this little pocket here. So you can see how that works. You can put the stuff in this little pocket here. Super fun, easy fold. I taught to second graders. You guys can do it. So check out part 6 of the series. Or no, this is part 6. I can never remember what part I'm on. That was part 5. Okay, and in part 5, I taught you about watercoloring, and we watercolored these delightfully detailed treat bags. I always give you a packaging item in your kit. This next kit, as I mentioned, for the Zany Zoo, has the envelope treat box in it. Okay, so that was all. Like we did the watercoloring. Now that was part 5. In part 4, I have other things to show you too, but we'll get back to that. Part 4, we did a shaker card project using the window sheet I gave you and this special die. I love this die. It's part of the Irresistible Blooms dies. Okay, I'm just showing you more things. I got more things in here. Let's see. These are just more gift card holders. I'm just pulling all those out. Oh my goodness, so many of them. There's one where you put the gift card holder in the inside. There's another one with the belly band. And another. And you can use twine to close it. I'm still not even to the projects yet that we did in this. You can see I go crazy over that. When I get something I like, I go all out with the crafting for it. All right, so that was what is it, part? I guess I thought I was done this series and I'm still quite not done. But anyway, no, I'm done. I'm done because I said I'm done, but we're just not going to get to do the one card I thought we would get to make. Maybe we'll do it as part of the Zany Zoo. All right, so there's the other shaker card. Okay. Now, this one is what we made in this series as well. We made this really fun. This is a fun embossed background, and that's the frayed ribbon I told you about. So we created this one in this series. Okay, super fun. White frayed ribbon. Okay, this one I call a Designer Series paper panel card. We made this one. I think this was like in part 2 or 3 of the series. Okay, and these are some make and takes I made from my team projects. Beautiful with the dies and things. Okay. Here's some ones I made when I first opened this new package, because these are all online exclusive items, including the Basics 3D embossing folders. Okay. So here's another Basics 3D embossing folder. And this is the card I was going to make with you today, but I forgot that I said I was going to make it, so I apologize. But we're not going to make this because I need to like go on a trip next week, right? So I'm sorry, but I just am not able to. But I'll still play around with this, maybe with the Zany Zoo. We'll see how some of the animals might fit in this background, and I'll still try to play with you in one of those videos, so you still get to work with this background die, but just not as part of this series. Okay, part one of this series, I think, is when we made this frame card. These thank you cards. For this card, we used rectangular postage stamp punch, and we used the frame from Fabulous Frames that's now retired, but it wasn't retired at the time. Here's another one where I used the 3D Basics 3D embossing folders. Here's another one of my make and take projects. You can see how we like to use twine and things. Here's me playing around with watercolor projects. This is actually Daffodil Delight and Flirty Flamingo watercolor pencils, but they don't actually look like the same color as Flirty Flamingo at all. So maybe that's why there's a new watercolor pencil collection, because the colors are a little different. Here's me playing around with that background die again. And here's me playing around with the embossing, Basics 3D embossing folder. Anytime you see one of those little pockets, let's see, of the one, let me show you the one card again. You can put candy in it as well. Here. So like whenever, or tea. So I'm just showing you that whenever you see the pockets, I put these little embossed pieces in there, just kind of as a placeholder to let someone know it's a little pocket. But you can put your tea in there, a gift card holder, or a Ghirardelli chocolate, or in this case, a little chocolate bunny. So there's lots and lots of options. So I hope you enjoyed this series and all the projects we made. We made so many things, learned so many techniques. It was so much fun. And like I said, extend your knowledge by taking my online course on how to do the gift card holder, or any of my online card making workshops, which are more in depth than my videos here, because I break it down from the steps of actually cutting the card bases and everything from scratch. Oh my goodness, I need to videotape all these projects. There's so many, so much fun. Thank you all for watching. This is the Paper Chef. Have a great day. Thank you, Melody and Lisa, Yvonne, Kathy, and all you guys for your comments about my cards. Thank you.